Hi, welcome back to Dogwood Paper Arts with Angela Thoma. And today we are ready to cut the cover chipboard and cardstock for our Roses and Lace album, the Stamperia Roses and Lace. So first let's start with our chipboard. You'll need to cut two pieces at 8.5 by 9 inch front and back cover, and cut one at 3.5 by 8.5 inch chipboard for your spine. My chipboard is a little flexible. It's about a 1/16 of an inch. I probably could have gone a little stronger, but I think once it gets the cardboard, the cardstock over it, and then the decorative paper, that it's going to be just fine. That usually strengthens up quite a bit. Okay. Now remember, I said we were going to do a different kind of cover and spine, and I cannot think of what they call it right now, but just follow along. It's a very simple spine and cover, and I love it. So for the cardstock, I'm going to use the white because that's what I've used in my album. You'll need to cut two at 10.5 by 11 inches. And cut one at 5.5 by 10.5 inches. Those dimensions will give you 1 inch all the way around your chipboard for turning in your edges. So let's start with the cover. The front and back covers. We'll start with one. We can't do two at once, so what I usually do is go ahead and measure in my 1 inch. And you can also put this on your, if you have 1 inch, and I do somewhere, but I don't know where they are right now. There's 1 inch, and I draw a line on that one, and it's because I just am not really super good at lining everything up. Go ahead and turn it and measure in your 1 inch at the top. That will give you two sides to lay your cardboard down on, your chipboard. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so my cover, I'm going to put the glue on the back. I'm not going to use the tape. And I'm going to lay it down on here. And I'm going to burnish it in really well. Now this time I am going to use a PVA glue on the center. I have a brush to brush the glue around and make it flat because I don't want it to show through on my covers. I'm going to get it a little bit damp, and then I'm going to brush the damp out of it. I'm dipping it in water just to get my bristles nice. I don't want to transfer water to my cardstock, and I don't want my chipboard to absorb a bunch of water. Now this is called PVA glue. Let me put the cap on it, then I can show it to you. Because it really comes out. It's a pH neutral PVA glue. It's ideal for bookbinding and paper projects. Professional quality archival adhesive. Dries clear, remains flexible. Now I got this a long time ago, and when I was making books a long time ago, our journals, it will dry rather quickly, but then again, I don't know. I am going to go around my edges with art glitter glue. If I have too much of this, then I will go ahead and take it off with my brush here. And of course I do. I'm just going to squish it off onto my towel where I dried my brush off. I just want to make this as even as possible. It doesn't look like I'll need that art glitter glue around there. Going to toss my brush into some water. Pick up my glue as best as I can off of my table. I should have put my wax paper into there, huh? Where is that wax paper? Come here. There we go. Going to lay this down. And I do think I want to go around the edge with art glitter glue if my glue is working. Now it is starting to show some warpage from the glue. The glue has water in it, and so that does get into the cardboard. But we will lay it between this piece of glass that I have on my desk. If I flip it upside down, it will hold these flat, and I will dry them that way this evening. Or I'll put them under a stack of a box of pictures that I have. Now, I want to get around and burnish that other side. You can see with the PVA glue that it made a very nice flat adherence to the chipboard. You still want to burnish it in. If you're burnishing on other colors, it may show glossy. Just put another piece of scrap paper over it, not wax paper. Wax will leave a shine. But put another piece of scrapbook paper over it and then rub it in. And that will prevent the shine from happening. Okay. Let's let that one dry for a little bit. I'm just going to stick it under my scoreboard for right now. Okay, now find my gluey towel. Gonna kind of tap out my brush in the water. Take as much water off of it as I can, and then rub it into the towel to get as much water out of it as possible. The water really is just getting the bristles so they work good. But you're going to brush out as much of that water as possible. Make sure you take it out of the finial, or whatever you call that. That's not the right word, but oh well. And then once again, oh, here we go. We need this, not that. I need to mark my 1-inch lines though, don't I? I kind of like having it marked. 1 inch here. One inch here. Lining up my lines and drawing them in. And we'll go 1 inch here and 1 inch here. Just the top and the bottom. And it's just so I can see where to lay the chipboard down. Okay, so there's that. Ah, glue, glue, glue. Gets all over your hands. Flip that over. And this time I did not use the art glitter glue on it. The PVA seemed like it just really nicely pulled the other one into it. Sorry, this is so noisy. Okay, nice, very nice. Oh, there was a hair under there, I see it. I was afraid of that. Going to set that one under my scoreboard. Let me grab another piece of wax paper. Throw that one away. I grabbed a couple of them here. And let's see. It's kind of sticky. Okay, so that's going to leave us this piece. Now once again, I'm going to draw my lines because I want to, line up as best as I can. Okay. There's those. We are ready to do some work here. It's not much work though. Let's have a look at it. Now that's the one with the art glitter around the edge. And it does feel cold, so that means it's a little damp. But I think it'll be okay to go ahead and work with it. Now I'm going to just score down along here on each side. That's going to get through some of that glue that came out. And it's going to help. You don't want to do it too hard. You don't want to poke through your paper. Okay. Now I still use this. It's by this company here. They send you a little kit. I use mine all the time. I like the exactness of it, being able to do your corners. And it's just preference. If you want to just cut yours, that's fine. It does work better with the thicker cardboard, and I probably could cut these in a little closer, but I just always use it. So we will cut those off. You can cut to the inside of the line if you're using it with a thinner chipboard like I am. Oh. These long scissors are hard to direct. Hope I'm in camera. If I'm not, I apologize. Throw those away. Now, before we finish this one, let's go ahead and let it dry a little more and do our other cover piece. Do not cut any corners off of the other one. Because it gets cut differently for this cover. The one thing I love about this cover is that you don't have nearly as much work to do inside of your book for preparation to start working on the front cover. Okay, throw those away. Need to move that. We're going to wait on the spine and we'll get to it in a minute. Okay, what I do is I hold it down at the base and I go ahead and work my paper a little bit. And I'm going to do that all the way around to start with. It just kind of works the paper a little bit. Starts prepping it for the big fold. Okay, now this must be my 8.5. Yep, it is. Okay, I'm just going to write a note here. Top. that way. Okay. So I'm going to start with the sides. And this is where I pull out my art glitter, and let me recap my other one if I can figure out what I did with the cap. Oh, there it is. Okay. I run my glue down along here. I run it up the sides, down the edge, and then some nice little squiggly lines, and some littler lines towards the edge. Okay. Now that glue right along the chipboard, you can see it makes that paper really pliable. And I'm just starting to bend it over. And there we go. Burnish that down. Go ahead and burnish along that edge. Gives a nice corner to it. I'm going to immediately come along the edge here and turn that corner in so I don't forget. And I'm going to do that down here as well. Let me see. Let me come up here. You just kind of go along the edge, pull it in, and if it kind of pops up here, just press it down and get it down into that corner where it belongs. Okay, I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to do this side same way. I am going to put glue along my edge. And if you do have some glops of glue there left from gluing your front, you want to kind of scrape that out gently. And just prepping that paper, making it softer and pliable. And then carefully pull your edges in nice and tight. Burnish your edges and your top. And okay, go ahead and turn in those corners. Just come around the edge, and it makes a little flat spot. And like I said, if you get a little lump up here or a little wrinkle, go ahead and just squish that down over the edge and make it a part of this side. Do the same way here. You don't want to bend your chipboard. If you have really thin chipboard, you want to be careful. This is not the best with the curve on it to use on this, but it works. Okay. You see how that makes a little flat area there? That's what we're looking for. And there is that little lump, and I have tried to push it down over the edge. Okay. Now, let's do the next one. Now this one I can feel that there's quite a bit of glue there from gluing it, so I'm going to make sure that I get rid of some of that. Be careful you don't poke through your paper if you use your pokey tool. You could try tweezers. The glue just gets little, looks like little knots or little lumps. And those lumps definitely will show through your paper, unfortunately. Okay, there we go. And once again, run your glue. And start making it pliable. And here's hoping my corners come in together. And they did. Go ahead and burnish along that edge. And burnish along the top. Take any glue off of your bone folder that gets on there. And just burnish those edges if they're looking a little lumpy. We don't want lumpy edges. Okay. Let's do this one the same way. Start working it over. I can see that that one is going to stick out a little bit. Always push in at your center first and then work your way down towards each end. That helps give a much better it helps it to go on evenly. Burnish your sides and your top. And just burnishing those corners down good is important. We want things as flat as possible when we put our spine together, as even as possible. I mean, you're going to have some uneven spots, of course, and it's going to be thicker where some areas come over other areas. But there we go. There's one. And look how gluey it got. That was just from all those little glue pieces that I've been knocking off of there as I go. Yeah, wow, that looks nice. I have to say that's one of the nicest ones I've done. Going to set it up there. Now let's do the same thing over here. Check your score and see if the anti-glue came out. If it did, go ahead and get those little lumps out of there because you don't want them showing up on the top of your spine, on the top of your book. I'm just going to do that first. That one felt good. Oh, there's some right there. There's quite a few right there. I want to be careful. I don't want to break my paper. I'll have to recover my spine or my cover. This PVA glues down just about like the art glitter glue. I bought it in Corvallis, Oregon at a craft store that used to be there. It's no longer there. But I bought it years and years ago. But it's nice. It still works good. It does take a little work to get a really nice book cover, but you might as well take the time to do it. You've already spent a good deal of money to make the book, and a good deal of time making it, so might as well take that extra time to do the cover. Because it's worth it, you know, you end up with such a nice product. Okay. Now, just double checking. This is my 8.5 inch. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do these sides first, these long sides. Once again, I'm going to start on one long side. Run my glue around it. You don't need to get super close to the edges where you're turning in your book. All the glue seems to migrate there as you use your bone folders. And it migrates towards the top too. Okay. Start working that in. That also helps to keep it closer to the cover of the book, which is nice. And pull it in good. Burnish the sides. And then burnish the top. If you get glue on your tools, take it off. There's that migration of glue. What I'm doing here is just removing that excess glue from that little hole there. That is where it comes together, where I want to turn this corner in. By removing the glue, it will help me to turn that corner in better. Let me see if I can find the other. This one works a little better for folding in the corners. So you just come up, turn, and go in. Now that one gave me a nice piece right there, but it did give me a lump up here. So I want to burnish that lump in and over the side. Just keep working it. It will work in. There we go. Almost there. Okay. Let's do the next one. Just kind of press it in there. It'll work. You'll be surprised. Don't press in divots so into your book. Okay, let's do the other side. Oops, I probably got too close to that side. Just making a circle of glue going back. Start working that paper again. Work, work, work. Starting at the center, press it in. I'm being pretty firm with it, and now I'm going to hold it. And now I'm going to burnish it. There's the great glue migration. If you have a glop of glue, you can just take it out of there. You're going to fold it over, and there's still going to be some glue there. But if you have too much glue, it just makes a mess. Okay. Make sure it's burnished in good. Okay. Now let's turn in that corner. I'm just kind of straightening that out a little bit. And then turn this one where you can, I find it is easier to put it away from me to my right side because I am right-handed. Now you don't want to flatten out your corner when you're working it. You just want it to come in gently. From there, it probably looks like I'm really manhandling it, but I'm really not. I am being firm with it, but I'm trying not to over stress it either, because I don't want to tear my paper or burnish a hole in the wet glue or anything like that. Got a glue spot there. Just going to rub it out there with my art glitter glue. And hope it doesn't leave a little lump. It doesn't matter if you go left or right first, up or down, however you're most comfortable. Now I can see that one is going to have a lump on it, on the corner. Might have had a little too much glue over there. Now, just burnish in your sides, and if you have a lump, just kind of pull it in to the inside of the cover. that is just going to flatten it, and it will be covered once it's inside. And it makes very nice. And we have one more to do. Just going to work that a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Whoops. Whoops, got too close. Okay. Now I am using artisan cardstock. You get it at Country Craft Creations. It works extremely well. I don't use any other. I do have others I could use, but they do use linen in their process, or it's made of linen. And I have to say it makes super nice covers. I really don't want to push that way. I want to push it this way. There we go. Just working there's a little piece of glue there. Just working in the glue so that it holds down the book really nicely. Okay. And there we go. Okay, let's move on to this one. Okay, this one you're going to do differently. Let me put my needle in my art glitter glue until we're ready to use it. There we go. Okay. Start by looking around it for the extra glue pieces, and if they're there, remove those. If you just run your finger along there, you'll feel them. There'll be it'll be like little glue things that you get on your fingers. Just the little lumps and bumps. You can, looks like, peel them off with your fingernails quite well. Might drive your fingers crazy with having little bits of glue under there. Okay. Go ahead and score them a little bit. And then we are going to work the edges. this one. Okay. Now, got those little glue pieces everywhere. Okay. Now I want you to go ahead and pull this up. And I want you to burnish this very lightly so it gives it a good score mark. Same way up here. Don't burnish this all down. We're just coming up here and burnishing in this corner. We're not gluing these down. I'm just kind of working them in to fit. I'm not being exact. We're just making some corners. Okay, and then do the same here. Just work in your corners. It's going to help. I know it seems like a process, but it will help for this to turn out better. To turn out well. Very well. Okay, let me see. Where's my other scissors? Guess I'm stuck using the big ones. It's either the big ones or the small ones, and the small ones are too small. Okay. Where your lines come out to the outside, you are going to cut this from here to there. Not in here. Just from the outside to the outside, or just to the inside slightly. You're just cutting off that corner. Let's do that again over here. Oh, this scissor is so big. Have to get under there with my finger to balance the heavier end of the scissor. Oops. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Now, the only thing you're going to glue in here is this, and then we're going to do a cut mark. Hoping I do this right. Okay. Okay, run your glue along the end. And over here. And here. And pull it over. Burnish this down and out. Burnish across your top. Burnish that side down and out. Okay. Now, let's do the other end. Same way. Go ahead and put your glue along your cardboard or your chipboard. Lost the word, didn't I? And it's been worked quite a bit already from doing our corners. You can burnish the top or the sides first, doesn't matter. But burnish in that score line and pull it out. Make sure you burnish along the top of your chipboard. Leave these wings out. Okay, now let's check for fit. This is actually going to go on this side, on the front. Not that way, this way. Okay. So, we don't want these wings to show on the sticking up out of the edges of our the front of our book. So you run your scissors along here, and if they come up, they see it kind of makes a lump there. You're going to get to that lump, and you're going to turn it and remove it. There we go. Same way over here. Can't see my cardboard there, so I don't really like that part, but I don't want to cut into my chipboard, but I can see that I could have cut in a little further. Whoops. You want this to look as neat as possible because it is going to be, it might be able to be seen. There we go. I need my other scissors. What? Oh, they're right here on my desk. Okay. Yep, there we go. That's better. So you can see where it kind of comes along and then it goes up a little bit. The up a little bit's what we're getting rid of. There we go. Okay. The big scissors over there. Get rid of all those little tiny glue things. I think a lot of it's just on my hands. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Should have put that under. I think what we'll do with these before we move on is we will go ahead and place them under here for a while and just get them flat. Flat, flat, flat. This piece of glass is very heavy. All I do is I put them under here. I think this one maybe is okay. But I want to flatten these back out. I turned it over because there's my glass over because see there's some little feet on it. Make sure there's no glue on it. I'm going to set these under here for a while and then I will come back to you and we will finish putting the spine together. Okay, I'll see you in a few. Hi, I'm back. Let's see how these flattened out. See if they're a little better to work with. Oh yeah, nice. Let's see, make sure my glass is in the right place. Okay, let's check them out. Ooh, very nice. That is one of the nicest covers I have ever made. It is smooth. There's no lumps and bumps. It's just really super nice. Okay, great. Okay, let's get right into this. Okay, now this is going to attach on top of this wing here. We're going to just call that a wing or a flap, whatever you want to call it. But to do that, we're going to have to get this we're going to score this down good. Now you don't want to score through it, you're just this is why we didn't want any lumps coming off the top here, because it will show above your cover. Now I do want to say one thing. If we want this to be another color, this is the time we're going to have to do it. So I do have some ribbon I want to look at first that I got to maybe put on the cover. But this is the time we would do it. So let me grab this ribbon that I bought. I gotta go clear over here. I'm really not sure how it will work. Not too keen on the blue in that, but let's have a look at it, and we'll look at it with our paper, because in the album we use a lot of green, pink and green. Oh, this is nice. This stuff is really super nice. But I think it's a little too thick for this. But boy, that is nice. It's called the Ribbon Boutique Faux Leather Wide Ribbon. I don't know, it's really padded on the inside. Very lovely. Let's look at this one. I think it may just be a little too thick though for this spine. If I was putting it over the top, that would be different. But yeah, But boy, that is nice. I think it could work. I don't know. Perhaps if I had used a little thicker Perhaps if I had used a little bit thicker, but I really want to use it. I think I can make it work. We'll just have to glue it down really well. Let's see. Where's my top paper? Oh gosh, I probably wrinkled it up. You know, there is a blue flower in there. No, this one doesn't go. I wish it did. It's the one I really was hoping to use. But look at that. I really like this. I want to try it. If it doesn't work, we'll shut the camera off and I'll remake the spine and I'll come back to you. So, let's see. This has got a really nice padding on it. I think we'll cut it a little long to start with until we get it glued on there. Let's see if it's going to work. There's not much on here, so I could do a couple album covers. Okay. So for this, we are going to use Fabri-Tac. Hope my other bottle works. It's called Magnatac. Bonds fabric, lace, glass, leather. It all says the exact same thing. So, I don't know. They just have a whole bunch of names they use. Okay. 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 Here we are. What I'm going to try to do is apply the glue to this, and then we may have to put this underneath here to let it really dry out good. Peel that little glue top off of the glue. Let's see, how much glue is in there? Quite a bit. Okay. Really gotta get it started, that's for sure. My hand gets tired squeezing it. But I don't want to let go because then it kind of sucks the glue back in a little bit. Okay, let's try this one. It sets up pretty quick when it gets spread out like this. Whew, this glue smells. I am going to put some right along that edge there. Okay. Put that over there. Let's see, I need a little straighter one. That one's my crooked one. Don't know how it got crooked, but it is. Now, I tell you, for me, this is an experiment on this part. Because I have not done it this way before. It does feel like I need to put some more glue under parts of it. Yeah, see, it glued down the other stuff dried out too quickly. And it could be, it's just this foam may not, that is backed on this, may not adhere properly. Need my other one. Need my other tool with the little roundy piece on it. Yeah, it kind of feels like maybe the foam on the ribbon is going to come up. Let me come around to this side. Yeah, I'm not really sure it's going to adhere, to be honest with you. Don't know what kind of glue would adhere it. if Fabri-Tac won't work. It's just absorbing right into the folds. Okay. That seems to be working. Okay. So it apparently soaks up the glue. Got a Fabri-Tac spider web. Sure wouldn't want it to come off. You know, we want it to adhere forever. I like forever. I don't want any air bubbles in there either. It looks to me like it just gets absorbed into the foam of the ribbon there, because there's a lot of foam on the backing of the ribbon. Squish that glue around a little bit. Kind of messy. Always have to experiment a little. Just to be sure. I guess what I should have done was cut that long enough to put on the inside of the book. But I think what a lot of it is that it's absorbing into this. It's kind of got a spongy back or a felt type of back on it. Polyester maybe? It is adhering though. It's taken a while, but it is adhering down. I just don't know if it will stay. Okay, I'm going to try and cut that. Don't want to cut my paper at all. I want to see what it looks like once it's cut, because maybe that foam is not going to look right. You know, it might look like foam. And I don't want anything on my album to look like foam. Nothing wrong with foam, but when I bought it, I didn't know it had the backing on it. I just fell in love with it because it was so wide. And I thought, gosh, I wonder if that would work for binding a book for a spine. Turn on my other light here. I have one over here to the side. It kind of lights up the area a little bit. I have lights all over in here, but to help light up the workspace for the camera. Ooh, pretty. I can't see that I'll be needing that, although you never know. Might make something. Don't know. I'm not going to worry about it for right now. I feel kind of like it has air under it right there. Right there and right there. And I've lifted up twice. Okay. It's not bad. I cut that one a little crooked. So, I would say that it would have to have something there. Let's see. This is what I'm looking for. That and no, not that one, but that is pretty. Definitely that, I think, would be very pretty. Here's that. Nope, that one's out. Sometimes you just know. Got some wrinkles in this. I think this, don't you? We can put it top and bottom. Put one up here and one down there. Let's see if it covers this little alley I gave it. And it would, if I glued it right along the edge. Yeah. I don't know if I have any more of this to do the front of the book too. Might want to look and see. I do have that. Oh. We do have this. Oh, that's pretty. They could even stick up over the edge like this and get glued there. I wish that was in pink. Where's my paper? I might use a different cover for the front. Have to think about that. Always something. Okay, we are going to use this. Right here to right there. We're going to glue one up here and one down there. Another glue spider. Get my towel. Yeah, I guess I'll have to use towel. The ribbon moves so easy on the glue. Till it's glued down, it will be kind of wiggly. I have a little thread in there. This I don't want there. Oh. I see. It's an attached thread. It came through the front. So that kind of covers up that foam a little bit right there on the top where I didn't like how it looked. But we'll see how it does. Oh, I got a runny nose today. So there's a snippet for me to take back to the store with me so I can find some more of the same type. Now if I could just remember which store I bought it at. Okay, that's good. Now, I want to glue this down a little bit right on in here because that's where the book's going to glue together. And so we'll want it to hold nice and tight right there. I am just petting the glue very gently so I don't move the lace too much. And I do want the glue to go flat here because I want my book to bind together without a bunch of glue in the way. There. Beautiful. Okay. There's that waxy one. That one is waxy too. Oh, be careful. I mean, they're all waxy. That one is gluey. Okay. Now, there we go. It doesn't need to come all the way out. Okay. Now, oops. Oh boy, that is tacky glue. Now this one is going to tack to here, and this one to right there. You want them to be even at the top and bottom. And you want to find that little slot there where it kind of sinks down in. So that it's squared up. This binding system allows you to open your book flat. That's what I like about it. I can see probably I should have made this spine piece a little thicker. Had I known I was going to use this system, I would have. It's too late to put a second level on it. I'm going to go ahead and bend that a little bit so I can see if I have any air bubbles that pop up underneath the spine. This stuff would make a great handbag. You know, just a little like clutch. This ribbon. Okay. That helps it score down a little better. Okay. I think that's going to be it. I am going to grab my clips because I can tell we're going to need them. Inside. The only thing is I can't clip it in the center. So I'll have to use some heavy tools in the center. Ooh, this would be a good one. Look at that. That'll work perfect. Okay, got it. So I'll end up binding it with clips here and there, and then after I get both pieces on, I'll set this heavy tool on it, and then we'll leave it sit till it's good and dry. That sound good? Okay. And then we are going to make a book plate or something on here. Or we might put a nice tassel on it. So if we put a tassel, we'll need a hole there. If we put a book plate, oh goodness, I got a mess. Start pulling out the ribbons and we have a giant mess. Where are the book plates? That's not them. Oh, we could do a clip on top. A clip on tassel with the clips. Yes. Yes, that would be good. I have a frame. But I thought I had some plates. Little book plate thing. I don't see it right now. I might have it in a different drawer. But we do have some frames. But I do want to put some corner edges on it. You know, like these. This is not the one I want to use, but I do want to use some corner clips on this one. Well, let's glue this down, and then we're going to work at getting finding the other things. Okay, crossing my fingers. Hoping it works. I really don't want it to come way up over the top here. Yeah, that's where, that's the one thing about this album is that the glue does want to come up onto the top of the book. Okay. Where's my other towel? Fell on the floor. So I'm giving it this bend so I can get the extra glue off of there. It does take a little bit. It's a quick binding system if you don't trail off down the other path and decide to add something new to it like I did. We'd already been done with it and onto the inside if I'd have just let well enough alone. But well enough and I never really saw eye to eye. So I don't really want my clips sticking right there. Okay. There's that one. Let's get that one off of there before it gets glued down. So I used too much glue, as you can see. Okay. Okay. I think before we attach the other one, I'm going to go ahead and let this sit and let the glue dry. And then I will come back to you and I will go ahead and before I get back to you, I'll put the other cover on, the back cover, and then we'll look at the book plates and stuff that I can find and see what we would like to put on it. How's that sound? My brush got dry. Okay. So, let's go ahead and do that. I just would really, with as slick as this ribbon is, this leathery faux leather on it, the cover just kind of slides around on it, so it's going to have to sit and dry. I just hope that it's even. Guess I better check it. I'm going to line it up here. I think it is. It's just that it goes uphill here where it's on this clip. Because it's even here and it's even there. Okay, I don't know how long it takes that to dry, but I'll get back to you. Bye-bye for now.